and welcome to another video review, and I believe this is my first movie review of 2023. In fact, it's the first movie I've gone to the theater to see this year. Obviously, spoiler, it's on my shirt. I went and saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. I've been extremely excited about this movie. You've heard us talk about it on Podcast 572. I love the trailers that they put out. I thought everything just looked right. I'm even in the camp that will defend Chris Pratt because I just wanted to see the movie before I pass judgment on, how he handles the role of Mario. And I really had nothing negative to say going into the movie other than I just wanted to see it and see, could my dreams as a 7-year-old kid be finally, answered to see a animated Super Mario Brothers movie in the theater, not a direct to DVD or anything like that, but could they actually do it? Because they couldn't do it 30 years ago. We got that terrible live action movie, which is fun to watch in retrospect, but I think everybody can collectively agree it's not a very good movie. So, and I'm happy to say on the other side of this, now that I've seen it, it's fucking incredible. And I enjoyed every minute of it. In fact, I had a smile from ear to ear the entire movie. My face fucking hurt when this movie was over because I realized I had smiled the entire 95 minutes that this movie, goes on for. Let's just start right off the bat in terms of voice acting. There is one, and this is my only complaint about the entire movie. There's one voice actor in this movie that is incredibly miscast and sounds just fucking out of place. And a lot of people are gonna be like, it's Chris Pratt. I knew it. It's not Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, I think, deserves credit. He did a good job here. When I watched the movie and I listened to the voices, with the exception of maybe Jack Black because it's fucking Jack Black, I didn't hear Chris Pratt when Mario spoke. I heard Mario. When Luigi spoke, I heard Charlie Day a little bit, but I mostly heard Luigi. Toad, I heard Toad. Princess Peach, I heard Princess Peach. I didn't think of the actors, and I knew pretty much all of the actors doing the voices going into this movie, but I didn't hear them. I heard these characters, and that's one of the biggest things I can come out and applaud the movie for, because anytime you get a big name actor and the voice, you go into the movie expecting to hear the actor, and it can kind of take you out of the movie. Not in this case with Mario. Another one I'll give a huge round of applause to, Seth fucking Rogen is Donkey Kong. I didn't hear Seth Rogen, and that was the one I was the most concerned about. His voice is so notable. No, not in this movie at all. He just sounded like fucking Donkey Kong. But the one voice that is just garbage, in my opinion, is Cranky Kong. So Cranky Kong is in this movie. He's voiced by Fred Armisen. I'm sorry. It was awful. That's the one complaint I have. He was out of place. He did not sound like Cranky Kong. Cranky Kong's supposed to be old and dopply. This dude was Cranky Kong in this movie was not that. And that would just took me out of the movie in those couple scenes that he's in. He's not in it very much. That's all I have to say for the voice work. Every other voice, actor in this movie, all the voices sound fantastic. Illumination, the people that do the Minions movies, Despicable Me, all those, they're behind the animation for this movie, and it looks incredible. They put a lot of money into this. Nintendo put a shit ton of money into this movie too, and it shows. From beginning to end, this movie is an incredible visual treat. It's in the entire time I was never bored once. Everything in this movie has a purpose, a place. It looks incredible. It's also there's so many Easter eggs in this movie. There's a part where Mario's just sitting around playing NES. He's playing fucking Kid Icarus. If you pay attention to stuff in the background, there's a ton of awesome posters in his room and stuff. It's just I enjoyed from beginning and just everything about it. And I went into this movie as I'm probably gonna like it, but I wasn't sure. And I'll also say this is the first movie I've seen now post-pandemic. If we're going to call the era we live in now post-pandemic, I'll say post-vaccine. I mean, maybe that's a better way to say it. That was sold out. This movie was packed. The theater was packed. People were actually getting into arguments because they could not get tickets until a later show when I went to go see this. And which is a weird thing to think of in 2023 because I thought most people bought their movie tickets online and went to the, but apparently people still just walk in and buy tickets. It was like, I didn't expect that. This is the first movie I've gone to post vaccine that there was a humongous audience. And I think that added to the experience, because I think this is a movie that you need to go see in the theater and enjoy and experience with an audience. A lot of kids in this audience, obviously, makes sense. It's a kids movie. The other thing I'll say is there's a lot of like critic skepticism on this movie. A lot of critics really pan this movie because they think it's too childish, or I guess critics expected more out of it, because a lot of kids movies today gear more towards adults as well, and the Mario movie doesn't really do that. There are a couple things in there that are definitely jokes for someone a little bit older, but this movie is made for all ages, and I think that was the best route to go. I had no problems with that, and I think people that honestly are going to see this movie and giving it a bad rating, I think they're just trying to be edgy, maybe. I don't know what it is, but this was the Mario movie that I want to see. It was, like, again, if I was 6, 7 years old, in 93, when I was, excited about that Mario movie, and then obviously got massively disappointed. If this movie had come out then, like, it would have blown my mind. And like, I can just remember, like, my grandma, who used to sit and watch me play as a kid, Mario, and loved the character of Mario, loved watching me play those games, Mario Kart, Super Mario World, you name it. This is a movie she would have enjoyed. And I think that's the thing I can say about this movie. Like, this movie will appeal to anybody who's played a Mario game in the last 40 years that fucking knows who Mario is. I've seen a lot of complaints out there where they go, well, this person might not get this joke because it's an in-joke about the game. Pretty much everybody under the sun has played a fucking Mario game. So I don't think that that's really that big of a problem with this movie. Those things don't need explanation, because, again, the audience that's going to see this movie are fans of Mario. And let's be honest, this isn't like, and I think this is the reason why I put so much weight on this movie. Yes, you can sit back, you make the argument, it's another video game movie. My argument would be, this is not only another video game movie, this is the most important video game movie that has come out probably forever, in my opinion, because it is literally starring the top Mount Rushmore of video game character, which is Mario. Like, everybody knows Mario. I mean, you can point to, those successful Sonic movies, which are amazing as well. And video game movies have done a turnaround, but this was important for this movie to be good. And it's fucking fantastic. And that's why, like, for me, I have virtually no other complaints about the movie. For me, it's an A+. I don't give an A+ out very lightly on this channel, but when I sat and thought about it, and I've thought about it all since last night, the entire day I've sat here and I've thought about, well, maybe I give it an A. I don't give an A+ out very often, but I had nothing to really complain about. Like, I didn't sit there and like, well, I didn't like that, or I didn't like how they handled that. I mean, yes, I can complain about the voice work for one specific character. They're in the movie for like under 5 minutes. So I don't think it's fair to drag the grade down because of that one little misstep. So for me, it's an A+. It's fantastic. Take your kids. If you're somebody like my age, maybe you have, younger kids and you're trying to get them into video games. I mean, I could not imagine, I don't have children, but if I did, I could not imagine the experience that, like, my kid would have if I took them to see this movie, because to me, it's that magical of an experience. Like, this is the Mario movie that we always should have had. I cannot believe how good it was, how enjoyable it was. We've done it. We finally made the Mario movie that I've always wanted, and I think most of us have always wanted. I'd love to know in the comments below, what did you think about the Mario movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What do you want to see next for Nintendo to make a movie? Personally, I'd like to see a Zelda movie. I'm back and forth on live action or animated, but I'd like to see them do something with Zelda. I'd love to see the story of A Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time told in a movie. I don't know how you could get that into a 2-hour movie, but you probably could. So, but I'd love to know, like, what other properties now. I mean, this movie's going to be massive. Like, again, I have not been to a movie that I've seen this many people, like, trying to get tickets, trying to get in, having the movie sold out, people sitting in the wrong seats. Like, I have not experienced that since the last fucking Star Wars movie, which was 4 years ago, and I thought the movie was bad. So it's crazy to me that this can happen again, and I think this is the movie that, you know, really will bring people back into the theater, because this is something that everybody can enjoy. Everybody. The Mario movie is for everyone, and I think that's the most important thing. So I'd love to know in the comments below, but again, A+. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, until next time.